Hi, everyone. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to join our webinar, How to Incorporate Sleep into Your Practice Using the MATRx Plus Treatment Planning System. I have Paul here on the line, and he is going to say a few words, and then I will get into the rest of the presentation.
Great. Do you want to get started now, or do you want to wait a few minutes and wait for some stragglers to jump on?
Well, we got 9 now. Yeah, you know what, maybe we'll give it 30 more seconds and see here. We got
Awesome.
9 attendees, and then we'll let Paul jump in and say a few words.
Great.
And I just want to confirm, can everybody hear me okay? I'm going to unmute you guys. If you have any questions, just unmute yourself and then just let me know. And if you cannot hear us or you need me to speak louder, because I'm really good at that, let me know and I will make sure I speak a little bit more into the microphone. Okay. Alrighty, well, we got 12 attendees so far. So if you wanted to, well, 10, I guess, but if you wanted to, two including us, if you want to get started now, we can go ahead. Can't hear you, Paul. Nope, still can't hear you. Oh, hold on.
There you go.
There we are.
You muted me there, Jenny. Just like my daughters, they love muting their dad. My name is Paul Catterford. I'm the CEO and one of the founders of Zephyr Sleep Technologies, and I thought I'd just kick it off a little bit and share a little bit about the company. The company was founded in 2010. It was spun out of the University of Calgary, and the MATRx Plus was cleared by the FDA in late 2018. The product is now installed in over 350 dental offices all across North America, and happy to report that our existing install base of 350 sites are almost at full capacity right now. We get reports every week, and so the good news is that people are being treated again at the same level that they were a year ago before COVID hit. Just want to talk a little bit about why you want to bring sleep and airway treatment into your practice. It really is critical. It affects 1 in 4 patients. So that means if you got a typical practice of 2,000 patients, about 400 to 500 of them have some form of obstructive sleep apnea. And it's easy to screen for, and Jenny will walk you through some of the details on how to screen patients. But of those 2,000 patients, I guarantee you 75 to 100 of them are either on CPAP or they failed CPAP and they're looking for alternative treatment for their obstructive sleep apnea. So oral appliances are just a great alternative. Patients, as you know, patients' acceptance of oral appliances is quite high. And the literature shows that patient adherence or compliance with the treatment is also very, very high. The MATRx Plus treatment planning makes it very easy for you. Jenny and the team are going to walk you through what MATRx treatment planning is all about. But basically what we do is we now give you a cloud-connected, tablet-based medical device that allows you to determine if the patient has sleep-disordered breathing or obstructive sleep apnea, and then also tells you whether or not the patient can be treated with an oral appliance. And so now you're eliminating the 20 to 30% failure rate that gets rid of all of the guesswork. And then the second thing the MATRx Plus tells you is it tells you within 0.2 millimeters exactly where to position that mandible to get the therapeutic response that you're looking for. So you know, all the guesswork is solved by the by the device and allows you to focus on treating your patients more effectively. And with that, Jenny, I think that's everything unless there's any questions.
Great, Paul. Thank you for sharing that with us. And if there are any questions at this moment, feel free to ask.
All right. Well, over to you, Jenny, and I'll stay on for a few minutes and see how it goes.
All right. Okay. So let me just get back into my area here. So now I'm going to just minimize this so I can actually see. So again, thank you for joining us to how to incorporate sleep into your practice using the MATRx Plus treatment system. Now, what I'd like to, there's going to be a few different concepts that we're going to go through. Should not take any longer than about 30 minutes that we're going to discuss on how we can implement the MATRx Plus, why the sleep is good business, and what makes the difference, what makes us different from the multiple different sleep systems that are there. So kind of our outline here is we're going to go through our background. Who is Zephyr? I know Paul just kind of touched on that. Why sleep is good business, what makes us different, the 4 steps to OAT success, the Quick Start program, and then of course the continuing education. So here's our beautiful city. This is Calgary, Alberta, for anyone not familiar where we're located. Zephyr Sleep Technology started in 2010 at the University of Calgary. And Zephyr designs, develops, and manufactures medical devices for the diagnosis and treatment of obstructive sleep apnea. So they started in a lab in the University of Calgary, just a small little team of them trying to determine how can they incorporate something into people's practices so they could actually benefit from doing oral appliances and knowing that it's going to work in the treatment planning flow. So Zephyr prides itself on having products that are progressive, precise, and easy to use, relying on clinical validation to ensure the efficacy of its solution and to maintain its commitment to best-in-class sleep science. So here we go. We have Dr. Rummers. I'm sure most of you have either heard of him or have seen him in, different webinars or when we could travel, different sleep symposiums. He is basically the MATRx Plus was invented by Dr. Rummers. He's a world-renowned sleep physician, scientist, and thought leader. Leads research, design, and development for the diagnosis and treatment of obstructive sleep apnea. And he did receive the de novo FDA clearance of August of 2018. Great man. If you've never had an opportunity to listen in on a webinar, I highly recommend it. So as Paul was saying, we have a dental practice with typical dental practice is about 2,000 adult patients, and there will be about 500 of them that will have some form of a sleep disordered breathing. 100 will be diagnosed, and 400 will be undiagnosed. So why do sleep? We get that question a lot. Basically, the minute you start doing sleep in your practice and screening, you're helping, you're selling years to your patients' lives by making a real impact. You didn't want to wait until a patient or loved one died before it started dental sleep in your practice. And of course, the most important part is your entire team can embrace this. It's a new skill. It's something that is really team driven. It allows the dentist to go off and be confident knowing that you can leave a team lead in charge and they're going to get the job done, and you can know confidently that what's happening is going to work while you're still off in that next room drumming up your exciting things like implants and bridges and crowns and whatever you dentists love to do. And of course, it is an added revenue resource to your practice without much work from the dentist or taking it away from the dentist time. And screening for sleep disordered breathing is the right thing to do. Whether or not you're currently into like doing screening now, I always say start right from your little ones that walk through that door of the age of 1 up until the oldest you have there. Sleep apnea is out there and it is in all ages. So the reason I'm bringing up this, the Matrix Plus components, because there are so many sleep systems that are out there. Now, what sets us different from everything out there is we are the only one that offers the mandibular positioner that basically takes the guesswork out of doing oral appliance therapy. Because as you can see, you know, we have the tablet, we have the recorder, the effort belt, the cannula, the pulse oximeter, and then the titration trays and the mandibular positioner. Now, with the theragnostic nights, that is going to tell you the who and the how that you can treat. You're going to know already, are they a responder, are they a non-responder by using this, and also where the predicted number should be for having their oral appliance made. So the nice thing is too is that the tray, you can kind of see where it has a little blue clip. Once the predicted number is figured out, you can then send that home and we can tighten it up with, lock it into place with the, of course I'm going to freeze on the name here right now. Anyways, you can lock it into place and your patient can start treatment immediately. So this acts as a temporary tray for 30 days or less, depending on how long it takes for the oral appliance to be made. So they can at least go home, start their therapy and feeling better before their actual oral appliance is made. So I want to look here at the Matrix Plus predictive value. So with all the trials that we have done with Zephyr, we have trialed many different patients to come up with this. So right now we're sitting at 97% accuracy in identifying OAT responders. So that eliminates appliance failures. It selects your OSA patients and who will respond to oral appliance therapy. We're also sitting at 89% accuracy in determining therapeutic position. So again, eliminates the guesswork, determines your target therapeutic position for effective treatment. Those are pretty high numbers. You know, you just can't go wrong with having the trials behind us and these percentage as high as they are. You know that you can confidently put an oral appliance in your patient and it is going to work. Now, as we all know, in the dental field, the known challenges with oral appliance therapy is without having a Matrix Plus and you're doing your oral appliance therapy for them, you're guessing. You're wondering, okay, where do I want to start them at? Most people start them at 60 to 70%, and they go from there. And then they're constantly, you know, titrating and taking up all that extra time for months. It could take months just to figure out, okay, why is the patient not feeling better? Why is this not working? Now, of course, you have an upset patient, but you also have a very frustrated dentist. You know, oral appliance therapy isn't right for everyone, but you don't know that if you don't have anything in place to be able to tell you that. So again, with the OAT treatment planning, the most important part is the awareness. Screen everybody. You know, I know some people like to, oh, I'm just going to screen the people who come in for their 6-month recare, or however you want to do that flow. Every single person that walks through your door, whether it's for a toothache or a new patient exam or hygiene, you know, whichever, screen them. If they have not yet been screened in your practice, screen them. That will open up the awareness and the conversations that's going to happen in your practice. Most patients walking through a dental office are not even going to put together sleep and dentistry. And you know, when you have when that conversation starts coming up, you're going to already find out that your patients are going to say to you, I already have a CPAP. It's been sitting in my closet for 10 years. I hate it, won't use it, not interested, but I have severe sleep apnea or maybe mild sleep apnea. And that is where you are going to be able to go, hey, you know what? I can help you. This is what I could do to find out if you'd be a responder for oral appliance therapy. You know, you can start your consultation at that point. Of course, then you have your diagnosis. That's where you're going to run your test. So whether it be a diagnostic or a theragnostic, you need to find out what the next step is. And that falls into the treatment planning. So that's where, you know, if they're diagnosed with sleep apnea, you're going to move them into theragnostic to decide if they are going to be a responder or a non-responder. And then, of course, what's the predicted number that they should be at. Then you get into your treatment, which is picking your appliance, what's going to fit and what's going to be the right appliance for you. One appliance is not a fit for all. You really need to get to know your patient's mouth, what's out there for appliances. There are a variety of different appliances that you can use that work really well. That being said, if you have a lab that you work with and that is who you always work with and they make an oral, a sleep apnea oral appliance, you can use that as long as you're giving them that number to have that appliance made based on what the MATRx Plus came up with. And then the follow-up. So that's where you want to, in about 30 to 60 days, you're going to want to have their appliance in, run a diagnostic, because you want to confirm that yes, that number that was predicted for it, say a 3.2 millimeter, they've been wearing it for 30 to 60 days, is working, numbers are still great, nothing has changed, perfect. You now can leave it be and then do a follow-up in a year from now. So you can at least know that your patient every night is getting that type of therapy that they need in regards to their sleep apnea. So you're basically, you can go to bed at night knowing you're saving a life because you know that you did it right. MATRx Plus treatment planning determines who can be treated and how to treat them. So this is Dr. Mike Pachewski. He just kind of put a little testimonial in here. The predictive value of the MATRx Plus is huge. Before a sleep apnea patient goes through the process of getting an oral appliance and paying for it, they already know if it's going to work for them. That alone is a huge seller. That's probably not a great word, but it's you can sit there and say, yes, I'm going to charge you $3,000, but I also know this is going to work for you. Other than in the past where it's, sure, let's, you know, spend $3,000, but then let's spend the next, you know, 6 to 12 months trying to titrate and figure it out if it's going to work for you, only for you to not wear it in the end. So, you know, you can really create value before even moving forward with this type of a treatment plan. So again, we kind of already went through this in regards to the 4 steps of the OAT. It's screening, it's the consultation, it's identifying your responders, determining your target therapeutic position. Of course, it's your case acceptance, it's your delivery of appliance, and then it's your follow-up. So these are the steps. This is the system that works and works really well when you are doing a sleep program in your office. Now, patient-focused treatment planning. So OSA treatment planning is similar to treatment planning for other dental procedures. It's really no different than someone coming in and being, I have a toothache. Well, you're not going to immediately go take them into the clinic and go, okay, great, let's prep for a root canal, because you're going to need to do some workup in order to determine if indeed they need a root canal. So you're going to take an X-ray, you're going to do a cold test on them, a bite test, and everything else that you need to do to determine that, yep, you do need a root canal. This is no different. You're going to need to screen. You're going to need to find out what the next step is for their treatment plan when it comes to their sleep apnea. Now, of course, the ROI, you know, that is big for dentists, and I understand it. Now, there's a little bit of the, as you can kind of see, the cost of the consumables, and then you have your interpretations, your connected program, and then the sleep appliance lab fee. So when you're these numbers have changed slightly, so I do want you to know that things are a little bit different. But you kind of see your part there of what you're going to have to pay out of pocket, and then you have your sleep test, your sleep appliance at $3,000. Well, your averaging net income is $2,400. So within six accepted oral appliances, you have your MATRx Plus already paid for. And not only that, it's just going to get better going forward, because you're going to have patients happy, and you're going to feel good about yourself, and you're going to be able to promote this to sleep physicians, to cardiologists, to medical doctors. I highly recommend that you really gain that circle in the medical field, because there are many sleep physicians that have a whole lot of patients that are non-compliant for their CPAP, or CPAP just doesn't work for them, and they go, what do we do? So yes, they will send them off to dentist and have oral appliances made, but in the end, you're making an oral appliance, but you're still really not knowing, are we actually doing the right thing? Is this working? You might have maybe cut down their snoring, but you know what? The snoring part's not the one that's killing them. It's the sleep apnea. It's the other parts, the airway, all that stuff that we need to open up. And again, it's guessing when you don't have the right system in place for the treatment planning to make sure it is working. So this is how Zephyr supports you. So with you do receive 4 onboarding sessions. So what this is that you do get a dedicated customer success manager, and they're going to go through your first appointments with them, and preferably the doctors, the team, everybody involved, so everyone can be excited, they understand it, they all want to talk about it, they want to screen, because it really does take a full it takes a full effort of everyone to be involved. So the conversation is happening from the minute it walks through the door until it goes through to hygiene, assisting, wherever it's doing, to back to the front again. You want to always have that conversation flowing. So you will learn in that first 1.5 hours of your onboarding session how to set up your system, how to take an impression. We're going to ask that you utilize someone in your clinic or yourself to take the test, so you understand how it feels, what to expect, what the reporting looks like after. And then of course, your second onboarding is going to be going through all of that, the data viewer, and how everything is. And then we're just there to train you from there to make sure you have a successful sleep program building into your practice, that's going to work and work well. Now, of course, we always get asked about the connected program and why they need to pay extra for a connected program. You have to kind of look at it as like a cell phone. You do have your LTE networks, so your patient does not need to have Wi-Fi. It can be done all just with the tablet using working off of like a cell tower, and it has the SIM card. You have your Zephyr Cloud connectivity, your patient information portal, access to the board certified sleep physicians. You get your real-time updates, doctor interpretation network. Now you got to keep in mind that doctor interpretation network, or sending off if you're doing a diagnostic and you're sending it through the portal to have the report read, which you need in order for them to move to the next step. There is an extra fee to that, and I believe it varies between the US and Canada, anywhere from about $59 to $70 is kind of what you're looking at. The most important thing, though, I really want to stress is that it's 24/7 patient support and doctor support. So during the day, if your team or the doctor and you're setting up a study and you're going, I forget how to do this, or something went wrong, that is when you pick up the phone and you give Anne or Stephanie, which would be a designated customer success manager, a call, and they will walk you through and make sure everything is taken care of. If it happens after hours, you have a patient at 2 in the morning, all of a sudden something just went wrong, which not often does it happen, but it happens. There is a number that they can contact. They get live support, someone who is going to walk them through, troubleshoot with them so they can go back to sleep and carry on with their study. Now, I can never stress this enough, education. If you have yet to meet Dr. Suresh Shirkande, take any of his courses, his next one is March 20th to April 17th. It is all online right now due to COVID. It's your Smart Care Level 1. You are going to learn so much. He is an amazing teacher. He's there to support you. You get your weekly on-demand lessons. You can chat with him after the fact and go, I have this case, like, what do I do here? Or how do I pick an appliance? Or, there's just so much. So if you take a look here at this website, I would definitely write it down, because this is an amazing course that anyone really wanting to be successful in their sleep journey with the MATRx Plus, this is the person to guide you there. And because it's Heart Month, so I threw a few things up here. Sleep apnea is found in up to 83% of people with cardiovascular disease, and also sleep apnea is found in 73 to 82% of people with high blood pressure. So you do your medical checks every time they come in, and if you have someone with high blood pressure or cardiovascular disease but they've never been tested for sleep apnea, great time for a conversation. And of course, we are running a promotion because it's Heart Month. We do have $1,500 off the system if there's only about 10 days left for that until the end of February. So of course, if that is something of interest, you can definitely email me at sales@zephyrsleep.com. And then I also highly recommend following any of our social media platforms. It will allow you to keep in touch, see testimonials, any of that kind of stuff. So yes, that's it. That is it. So I am going to. Now, do we have any questions at this time? You might have to unmute yourself. I'm not the greatest. Unmute all attendees will have full audio control. Okay, yes. So do we have any questions at this time? Okay, I'm not seeing any hands up or no one chatting. So I'm hoping I'm doing this right, that you could actually ask me a question. If not, though, please feel free. I will be messaging you guys after, and we can go through and chat some more, or if you'd like to schedule a phone call or something like that for us to go even a little bit further into detail in regards to what I just kind of went through, and obviously to talk a little bit more about the MATRx Plus. I would love the opportunity to have a chat with any of you, and I hope everything worked out okay and you heard the whole thing. And I appreciate all of you guys attending and taking the time out of your day. And there is, if you look here, we do have 4 PDFs kind of at the bottom that you print off for yourself. There is some really great literature in there. And again, if you have any questions, I look forward to hearing from you all. Thank you. You have a great night.